Ladies and gentlemen, now moving forward, I would like to call upon here on stage for the validation note and the conference closing remark to respected Dipendra Purush Dhakal, the former Secretary of Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation. So let's give a big round of applause for respected Mr. Dipendra Purush Dhakal, the former Secretary of Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation.
Yes. And thank you the audience as well. I am the 24th speaker today. So you had a lot of patience to listen to everyone. Bear with me for a few minutes again. Sorry for that. Let me start with, actually most of us have been here since the morning itself. I may not need to repeat the things that has been already spoken to. But I will definitely touch upon few points which touched my heart and I think could be the outcome of the event today also. Now to start with, let me just first say that Nepal, China, India, the relationship which starts from the days of Arniko in China, Prakuti married to the Tibetan king, again China, Sita wed to Rama, India, and in Bandipur here, a replica of Chinese Great Wall is under construction. Most of us know that as well. So look at that, the kind of connections that we have between these three countries, which is very strong enough and age-old friendship that we have already experienced throughout. Let me just touch upon the very first presentation made by Professor Kai Chong. He made a wonderful presentation today. He spoke about, from the book, he cited a book also during his presentation and said, if the ocean tree, which changed the face of the Thai Phuket, that and the Singaporean investment was drawn there, and the land which was polluted by tin minerals and all, now converted into a best tourist destination of Thailand of today. So he brought out not a new concept that we already knew about, but he emphasized that we have to now think out of box. And if you again recall, Ranjit ji mentioned in this podium hall event that it's not only thinking out of box, but dismantling the box itself. So this is how the scenario of tourism has been changing, and we have to adapt with the changing world. And the catchword that was shared with us by Professor Kai Chong is, he is a servant leader, and servant leadership he mentioned all about. And that's quite interesting for me to just recall it again and again. He gave several examples about the Phuket thing that I mentioned already, the Highway 50 in USA, Nevada. He also cited about walking conference in Nepal itself. The green garden in the vertical, wall, and professor for a day. That kind of interesting presentation we had witnessed this afternoon. And Wolfgang, I must thank you that you have done a lot of research on the outbound Chinese tourism. Your research findings actually highlighted us more, and that is the area that we still have to go deep into it. And he also mentioned about his own idea is people may accept or not accept. He said that it is the wrong reason that the Indians come for family trips, business and wedding, he said. And similarly, he also said it's a wrong reason if we feel like Chinese tourism is for business or looking for cheap travel. I mean, that one can debate on that. Thank you, Wolfgang, for bringing out your observations on that. But it is true that the tourism has the changing dimensions, and that is very true. The dimensions are changed, and we have to get along with it if we have to remain in the business itself. One interesting event I want you all to recall today is that an employee of an organization was firing his own boss, keeping his aside, fireside with Deepak Raj Joshi by his own colleague, Susan. And thank you, Deepak. I don't think Deepak is here around. So thank you, Deepak, that you tried to highlight why we are here and what for. The purpose that you mentioned to us of our participation today. Nur Muhammad ji, I think you have done a great presentation today. In the MICE also, in different segments, you focused more on convention, and you also highlighted about the potentials that we can harness from the convention tourism, giving all the examples of different parts of the world, Thailand and other areas as well. So we are fortunate enough to have you here and listen to your experiences. It's not only theory, but it's your own experiences you shared with us. You said, don't let any child left in the world of silence. And let me mention to you that when you come to the health sector, in Nepal, the children below 15 years, if they somehow get the cardiac, disease and got to be operated, it's free of cost for each and every child below 15 years. Similarly, the 75 year and up, that also is free. So those kind of social facilities, incentives is being provided in this country as well by the government. Now I want to just touch upon the plenary one. Upal, thank you very much for your positive mindsets and all your experiences that you had earned in Nepal in different capacities. I could not find any instance that had gone negative thought that was shared. So thank you for all that. And you could highlight what Nepal can offer to the world and why Nepal could be a choice for MICE tourism. You also touched upon that. And you also, through your one of a punchline that I noted is, if you don't tell your story, if you don't tell, anyway, sorry, I couldn't read my own this thing, sorry. And in that panel, Narayanji, the Director General of Department of Tourism, he mentioned about what are the facilities that are available in Nepal for carrying out the MICE tourism. Ranjit had a lot of thoughts to share with us. He emphasized on saying that only sharing the stories is not enough, but tell the true stories. So that's what he emphasized. And also, he touched upon customer delight things. And I think most of us remember that chicken sandwich is known by the chicken in between, not the toast. Meaning Nepal is in between India and China, so Nepal is known all that. And so anyway, this is how he very beautifully projected. Kumbh ke baad Pashupatinath. I mean, for the Indians, not everybody can understand, but the Kumbh is the holy dip. And after having a holy dip, why don't you come to Pashupatinath to have a darshan? That could be a promotional slogan for the recent days. Mr. Grish Brinda, again, your experiences in Nepal, I think 3 years, 4 years. So the time you spend here, you very rightly spelled out that there are potentials for the MICE tourism as well. And he has own experiences, the real-time experiences as well. Thank you very much for sharing with us, like you mentioned about the SCAL meetings. And we should not look for 1,800 participants, but even for the smaller ones, we have enough facilities available here. Kathy, thank you very much that in the post-COVID scenario, the potential is rising for the MICE tourism as well, and Nepal should also harness these opportunities for the sustainability of tourism to be ensured. Nandini ji, you also touched upon wedding a bit. And very interestingly, we are all familiar with AI. She brought EI, emotional intelligence, and Dr. Brigitte, she brought RI, relational intelligence. So 3 intelligence that we talked about this afternoon. AI, EI, and RI. Now, Sabir Ahmad ji on digital initiatives. I mean, you touched upon all 4 pillars: demand, product, access, as well as enablers, the main pillars of that, and hyper-personalization, and where Visa can contribute with the data they have of each and everybody for the purpose of tourism. And he assured that he will be willing to share with the tourism fraternity for the research purposes to make your own strategic tourism plans, right? Thank you. Thank you, Sabir ji. And now I move on to plenary 2. There we touched upon aviation areas. And Vijay, you moderated the session very well. There were 2 Vijayas in that session. One Nepali Vijay, एउटा Mauritius Vijay, another is Mauritius Vijay. And actually that was the session where the weaknesses, the lapses, the overcomings of those lapses, the ideas were talked about. Nepali Vijay, who came out with a lot of problems, I have a suggestion to him, is that even now we don't have any of the Nepali government officials here except Sir, Minister, he is from the province. Nepali Vijay is the member of the Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal himself. He is somehow connected with the government. The problems he rose got to be placed in that particular board for the knowledge of the government and get the solutions to it. If Vijay is around, it's my request to him. But it was a very lively discussion where all these, say, lacunas were discussed all about. And Mauritius Vijay, you moderated it very well, and the interdependence of aviation with tourism. We often say that aviation makes or breaks tourism. and that's it. So these interdependencies you very rightly highlighted about, and as you said arteries, right? So if these arteries are blocked, then your heart stops. The same thing is with aviation and tourism. If aviation has gone wrong, no tourism at all. So this is, you very rightly highlighted how India developed with airport developments and likewise, and he also had recommendations for Nepal. Yes, but in Nepal the situation is a little different that we talked about, like Pokhara and Bhairava, two international airports, heavy investments gone into it, non-functional, no ILS as you very well mentioned, and international flights have yet to resume. Bhairava we had and stopped and again started with a little bit, Pokhara never had. So, but it's very good also that Himalayan Airlines had one presentation today that they are already starting with 3 flights a week and going to go for 5 flights a week from Pokhara to Lhasa. So maybe this will initiate other airlines also to come in. And these two, the Pokhara International Airlines will be operational in the international sky again. Now plenary 3 is, we talked about high value wellness with high volume tourists. I think this was a very interesting subject, at least for me it was a very interesting subject, the wellness tourism. It's a new concept that where we always talked about throughout the day. And the innovative aspects, one of the innovation is the wellness tourism also. There were many doctors in that. So what, Smriti ji, thank you very much for very nicely moderating that. And you talked about the Manasarovar, Kailash with Pashupatinath and kind of thing, that kind of say connections that we can build upon. Dr. Britt, on the relational intelligence, it's on the quality of life, and that quality of life is dependent on your quality of relationship. And she highlighted on that. And wellness and the difference between wellness and well-being and happiness, she actually explained that quite nicely to all of us. Narendra Sethi ji, you presented the research and research-based evidences on wellness institutions. Thank you very much for that. So we had a privilege to learn on those aspects as well. Rajan Semkhada ji from Nepal, he himself is a practitioner and also have been practicing the wellness tourism here in Nepal already. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences and also highlighting the potentials of the wellness tourism in Nepal. I mean, there are a lot of meditation centers here. We can talk about Vipassana Center, we can Art of Living, and many more. So these all meditation centers also are attracting the international visitors as well. That is one part of the meditational, say, wellness tourism as such. And I missed Dr. Benjamin. Benjamin at the end brought out an interesting, debatable idea. What he said, I mean, he explained about more of a practical things, the experience in China, in 2 places, Chengdu and Hainan. He highlighted what he experienced. But what he mentioned, I mean, his own ideas, what he mentioned was, for Chinese tourism to grow, is mice a perfect choice? Could it be a perfect choice? I think he came out with that. I mean, it's a debatable thing. And Wolfgang, thank you very much that you responded to him saying that in his presentation he has highlighted about transformation. And that transformation and that got to be somehow connected and looked into to come out with what could be most practical in the Nepalese context. But again, having said that, going back to what Dr. Benjamin said, MICE tourism and Chinese tourists got to be looked into by the tourism fraternity. Now, the last presentation about the potential Indian wedding, thank God I'm married already. It's so expensive. If it was today, I would have chosen not to marry at all. I mean, it's scary, isn't it? But, okay, looking at the tourism angle, fine. We make money out of that. Let somebody match make, we make money out of that. And I have a good experience to share with you, ma'am. My daughter is wed to a Scottish. In Seychelles, both families did not spend a penny. Done. And that is not what you would like to hear about. Anyway, so the wedding potentials, you very rightly highlighted why wedding destination could be prime for the Indian couples. Proximity, religion, budget, access, very rightly you mentioned all about that. And again, you all again said, wedding is based, I mean, it is influenced by emotions. And the emotions, you cannot bargain. What you want to do, you will do it. Even the bride and groom, they make their parents to spend the way they like. Isn't it? That's what we wanted to say all about. So as it is very much emotionally attached, sentiments are there, the expenses, the reduction of expenses, the chances are very low. So wedding destination, if Nepal could be, if Rajasthan could be that, if Goa could be that, if, why not Nepal? Indians are, you mentioned Indians are going to France, Greece, Thailand, our own, and again, looking at the culture and all, religious and all, spiritual connections as well, and also the family understandings between two countries, we could be a best wedding destinations for the Indian couples as well. So I think I tried to summarize, pick up only few points that I thought, that touched my heart as I already said. It was a wonderful meeting today. Spending this what? We started at 9:30? 10? Now it's 18:47. Just count how many hours we spent in this room. It was a fruitful meeting altogether. We enjoyed. All the sessions were run with pin drop silence, except in the back benches, few back benches, pin drop silence, and we all enjoyed. We all benefited. All the international speakers, thank you very much. You made your time available and shared your experiences with us, and also to the Nepali speakers who could share what is happening in Nepal. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. But I would like to once again request you to kindly come on stage to receive the token of love. Sorry to bother you again, but we request you to come back on the stage to kindly receive a small token of appreciation from our side. And to do the same, I would like to call Mr. Noor Rahmat to kindly do the honors. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. This marks the end of NICE for Mice and More conference powered by Visa, organized by PATA Nepal chapter.